I'm just going to do a quick walk around video of the overlanding setup I have in my 2012 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. Now, some of the gear I have is expensive, so I've got a Dometic fridge, that's probably 800 bucks. But the system itself is very inexpensive. It's basically constructed of a couple boards, a couple pieces of tube, and some ingenuity. So it's not, it's not a several $100 goose gear system or nothing like that. You got to go out and buy. Literally just a couple pieces of plywood, some automotive carpet, and gives you a really nice overlanding setup for any, this could be, you could do this in a stock JK or JL. So for my overlanding setup, there's basically three main components. I've got the rear door mounted table, I've got this rear shelf, and then I've got a 40% backseat delete. So starting with the shelf, really simple homemade unit. You can buy them. You can buy some really nice ones. I just decided to make this myself. Really simple. Some 1/2-inch plywood, some self-tappers, and then a piano hinge. I bought this aluminum off of Amazon, I believe. And I only use this so I actually have it expandable. So a little bungee helps hold it up. It's also got a magnet. So with it just like this, it holds my camp stove really nice. I got a 2-burner propane stove. And then you can slide this out. So if you want to do some meal prep, or you're making coffee or drinking coffee while you're cooking, really simple, low dollar investment. And if you want to go buy one, that's fine. But definitely a important piece of overlanding with a Jeep, in my opinion. Moving on from there, we've got this rear shelf. So my goal with the Jeep was to be able to go from driving to sleeping very quickly. And the best way to accomplish that in my mind was to make sure you didn't have to move any of your storage items to go to bed. A lot of people have bins down low, which is better for off-roading, lower center of gravity, but then you're going to be sleeping on top of that, which means you don't have a lot of headspace. So with my setup, you have the most headspace you can have inside a Wrangler. So when you're sleeping, you're sitting on the floor, and you can sit up completely. If you wanted to, watch a movie on an iPad or something, you can do that without bumping your head. So this rear platform is simply a piece of 1/2-inch plywood wrapped in automotive carpet. And then it's got these steel tubes on the bottom. I believe that is sold in stores for like gas line. Just little half straps holding it onto the board. And then at the end of the tubes, there's flat brackets welded to it that are going to the bolts that hold the hardtop on. I'll show you that from a different angle, but just super simple, easy design. And then also on the side of mine, if you look, I've got this coupler. So I actually cut the tubes, and then I've made this slide piece. So I can slide that piece to the side and then take the whole shelf out. I've never actually taken it out, and if I was doing it again, I wouldn't put that coupler in there, but it did make the shelf removable. So if you have to haul dog kennels or something larger, it is a nice option, but it does put some flex in the shelf that, like I said, now that I know that I've never taken mine out, I'd probably eliminate that in the future. So looking at this from the front, I'm now at the driver's side rear door. You can see this bracket. So this is just that steel pipe, flat piece of metal welded to it, and then it's bolted to the same bolts that hold the hardtop on. You can see the plastic or the fiberglass for the hardtop isn't cracked or broken. That was my main concern with this idea. It's been like this for 3 years, 25,000 miles, a lot of trails with a lot of weight up there, and it hasn't broken. So far so good. If I was going to do this again, I would actually do plywood sides that are like bolted into the inner fender with rib nuts and then come up to support this weight. It would take the stress off the hardtop, and then also give me the opportunity to raise the shelf up a few inches. And by raising the shelf up, I just have a few more inches at night when I'm sleeping. Just be a little more comfortable. So also, by deleting the seat, I needed to put this angle iron here to keep the jackery up there. Just had this laying around, and it's worked well. On this side, the seat is taller than the shelf, so it holds the awning and all the bins in place. The third piece of the budget overlanding setup is this front shelf, so this front seat delete. As you can see, I just deleted the small side of the back seat, so this is the driver's side. Get the stove out of here. And again, this is just a piece of plywood. Cut it to fit, notched it. It's got just 2x4 front legs. It's nice because you got a little bit of room underneath for storing stuff. That's my recovery gear. And then the back, I bolted to the floor. You can kind of see the bolts back there. So there's rib nuts in the floor of the Jeep, and then the shelf is just bolted in. Really, really simple, low dollar. I mean, I don't know, what, 20 bucks or something. And it works super well. In my case, I've got the Dometic fridge here, but you could easily put a cooler there or just use it for gear storage. And then at night, fold down the other part of the seat, and you've got 2/3 of the Jeep for sleeping. And then I've also got a board wrapped in carpet that goes in the gap. So when you fold the seat down, there's a little valley there. So I just made a little board that goes over that, and it prevents you from, falling into the crack, if you will. But yeah, so those three things make the Jeep a really great overlanding rig. Really easy to load some gear up in it. These are Plano plastic totes. They're also really inexpensive. They're not 100% waterproof, but they do a really good job of keeping dust and dirt out. Usually when I'm off-roading, I have the roof off, so there is dust inside the Jeep. Having the onboard air allows me to blow some of that out before going to bed. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to make your Jeep into a really usable overlanding vehicle. Really a basic setup, quick and easy to deploy, and very functional.